What do you got, Daniel Jones? Show me something, Daniel Jones. Show me something, Daniel Jones. Show me something, Daniel Jones. This is a game, Daniel Jones, that you were drafted to win. Show me something. Show me something, Daniel Jones. Show me those beautiful North Carolina legs.
Oh, yes, the beautiful North Carolina legs. Peter King every week during the season on Friday when Chris is in his hammock with a pina colada and daddy cigars, he calls them. Peter King, show me something draft. It's almost always Daniel Jones.
Apparently.
And the Giants showed him something yesterday in the form of a deadline deal so they could apply the franchise tag to Saquon Barkley. Let me just make this observation. Because I said yesterday, at this point, just go ahead and take the tag. It would have been in Daniel Jones' long-term career interests to take the tag because you get tagged once. It's better for you the next time you get tagged. It's even better for you the third time. But the problem is, if he doesn't do his deal, they can't tag Saquon Barkley. And Saquon Barkley hits the open market. If I'm Saquon Barkley, I'm probably not real happy with Daniel Jones today because he could have done this deal today. He could have done the deal tomorrow. He could have done the deal that he did all the way up until July 15. But, he used the leverage of the Giants wanting to keep both guys to maybe squeeze a little bit more out of the Giants than he would have gotten later in the process. And that's what I said. At this point, if you're going to do a deal, you better get a premium. The problem is whatever premium Daniel Jones got ended up handcuffing Saquon Barkley to the Giants for a year when he could have hit the open market, Chris.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tough one. But also, too, he's, in a lot of ways, hey, trying to do this so they can keep a guy, and they use that against him, too. I think that's the other aspect of this as well. Who knows? Again, I don't know if I totally agree with what you're saying there, too, is that Daniel Jones might have been asking for more. But, okay, I'll settle for this, as long as we say, franchise Saquon.
My point
and
is
we
he could have gotten
done.
it later.
Right?
Right.
So
right. That's part of the deal, though. He's restricted Saquon Barkley
he has
from a shot at the
restricted
open market by doing the deal.
No
That's
doubt.
my point.
No, you're not wrong by that. You're not wrong. I mean, listen, as a Giant fan, I'm ecstatic. We keep both, and hopefully they can figure out a way to work out a long-term deal that makes sense for Saquon Barkley. But Daniel Jones, I mean, from what it looks like, again, we saw a lot of positive signs from this player last year. He did a lot of good things with a team around him that, you said it right before we came back on air here. It wasn't like it was super talent around him, right? He showed the ability to something you talk about a lot, that when the play's not there, he can do some things when it's not there. Nobody's open. Protection's bad. His ability to run is special. It's kind of top five-ish in football as far as quarterback running is concerned, let alone, hey, I think they like everything else about Daniel Jones. So it's good to see them get this done, and they can move on and try to figure out the rest of their roster and hopefully a deal with Saquon Barkley.
I anticipate getting the full details of the contract today. By now, if you pay attention to how we do things and how everyone else does things, here's how it works. Other reporters get the basic bare bones, best case scenario characterization of the contract, and then the truth comes later in the full breakdown. Here's what I know right now. And again, I've yet to see the full breakdown. I'm told $93 million effectively guaranteed at signing, $104 million total guarantee. That includes injury guarantees that don't and won't vest. The incentives and the escalators allow him to earn up to $2 million in each year of the deal for hitting top 15 quarterback stats. Another $2.5 million per year if he's top 10. Another $2.5 million if he's top 5. So that is, if my math is correct, and it rarely is, $7 million per year tied to being in the top 5. If he's in the top 5 by way of statistics, and we'll find out what the statistics are, he makes another $7 million a year. He's got $5 million of incentives and escalators for playoff performance each year. So it's characterized as a win-win. Giants are on the hook for 2 years and a $21 million guarantee in year 3, but there's enough low-level incentives, so if Daniel Jones plays like he did in 2022, he will earn more than the $40 million per year that's in the base deal, 4 years, $160. So again, I defer to the final and complete details, but it sounds like a way to, make sure that he's protected financially if he plays really well
good,
over the course of the next few years, and the Giants are going to pay him even more if he does. But a lot of it's on him and what he's able to do with the football in his hands. And we have to see what quarterback statistical categories there are, because he didn't have a lot of passing yards last year at 3,200. That wasn't very much. He ran for 700.
Right.
But, he didn't have good receivers either. And hopefully this deal gives the Giants the flexibility to go out and sign some better receivers than what they have.
Yeah, I think this is, kind of the sweet spot, right? We talked about this kind of all year long. We thought, hey, 35, 38, okay, maybe it's 40 million, whatever, right around that area, with a 4-year deal. I think is exactly kind of what, we talked about, at least what I said, that, yeah, maybe they can get out of it after 2 years if things don't go the right way. I'll be interested to see. I mean, Mike, what's your gut tell you that it's like, what do you think it realistically is? Like 2 years, 100 million, they can get out after that? That would be my guess. But you got a feel for what we might see when you get the details later on?
Well, when I look at this note that it's really 2 years plus a $21 million guarantee for year 3,
right?
That tells me it's probably 2 years, 72. Kind of what he would have gotten if you'd taken the two tags and slapped them together.
Gotcha.
The 2023, 2024 tags plus that extra guarantee. And see, here's the reality with that extra guarantee for year 3. It's like the extra $10 million for Derek Carr.
Right.
There'll be offset language attached to it. So if they decide after 2 years to move on from Daniel Jones, whatever he would make on the open market, that will chop down that liability for year 3.
Yeah.
It's a bigger liability for the Giants than it is for the Saints in year 3, but still there's a way out if you're willing to potentially eat some money. And so it gives the Giants 2 full years to make the decision whether or not he's the guy over the long term or whether or not they need to be looking for someone else.
Yeah, that's what it feels like, and I think that makes sense. And I'm sure Daniel Jones, it makes sense to him too. He can't sit there and yet think, oh, well, I should just get 5-6 year deal and whatever price I want. He's smart. He realizes the situation here. So that's where it's good. And then, the other thing too, because I had some people like friends and stuff are like, man, Daniel Jones is going to get more than Derek Carr did, right? And, I think when, you just say it out loud, you go, well, yeah, that's Derek Carr. He's, was at the Pro Bowl last year and he's had some good years and all that. But there's more to it than that too, though. Daniel Jones, 1, he's homegrown talent for the Giants. 2, it's all come together with the new head coach who believes in him and all that. So Derek Carr obviously didn't quite have that there with the Raiders. And then other 3 is, I think there's a little bit of a premium because of kind of what you said. He showed his potential this year. His potential is greater than Derek Carr. Again, this is a big human being we're talking about, 6'5" and that change, over 240 pounds. He's got a very good arm. He's extremely accurate. And then, like you talked about, it's over 700 yards rushing. Over 700 yards rushing was still not the best O-line in football, and no weapons to worry about on the outside to where you're getting double teams on receivers and making the rushing easier for you as a quarterback. So, again, I think there's some things there that, the potential, the homegrown talent, the organization likes him, and it all came together with this coach who seems to believe in him and wants to make it grow with him, and that's why he ends up getting paid more than a guy who's more established than Derek Carr.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.